Okay, we can go to the next slide. Mbak Mus, please help me. Yeah, okay, so everyone, nice to meet you again. Another start, another course. We hope that you get experience from the previous course, but now let me walk you through with the introduction of your coming course. The name of the course is Health and Nutrition Project Program Planning and Management. Next slide, please. Okay, so the course subject code is MD0881B302. The total credit for this course is 3 credit points. Most of the teaching methods will involve lecture, group work, presentation, and fieldwork. All of the learning resources is available in the AMAS as seen in the URL link. I believe the tutor has informed you, yeah, where is the location of the resources. Okay, we can go to the next slide, Mbak Mus. So here are the 5 learning objectives. First of all, we would like to expose you with all of these learning objectives, starting from explaining the management principles and functions of health and nutrition projects program. We would like you also to be able to apply the concept and methods in planning health and nutrition projects and program. And then we would like you to be able to analyze the planning steps during project and program initiation based on a case study of Rosario's case. And number 4, we would like you to be able to examine steps in implementation, monitoring, and evaluation, including closing health and nutrition projects and programs. Last but not least, we would like also to expose you with a skill to be able to develop on a health and nutrition project planning based on a given case in one study area. I hope this is clear, yeah? Okay, we can go to the next slide, Mbak Mus. Here are the teaching materials. So all of these are provided already in the course outline that we upload through AMAS. Basically, we have about 10 materials that we will provide you with all of this in the course. What I would like you to pay attention more is that there are going to be exercise on journal review. So we have been able to identify good reports, yeah, good project or program reports that you can examine and learn and also evaluate later on in number 7. And then pretty much of what you are going to be assigned to for your final assignment is actually number 10, where you will be exposed or expected to be able to develop all of those listed materials. We can go to the next slide, Mbak Mus. And here are the teaching resources. Each and every module or reading or handbooks that is available in this slide is already uploaded in AMAS. So please access and download so you can also always refer to these resources when we go along with all the topics, yeah, during this course. We can go to the next slide, Mbak Mus. For the course schedule, I know this is small, but again, this course schedule is also available in the course outline. But what I would like to highlight here is that this course constitutes of 3 credits. So therefore, you will be exposed to this course for about 3 weeks. So week 1 is mostly dedicated to exposure for you to know one project planning method, which is objective-oriented project planning. And then on the second week, you will be exposed to more activities related to how to use the OOPP, but also some guest lectures. We are inviting a number of resource persons from Ministry of Health, from international development agencies for assisting us, yeah, with their experience on how they manage a program. And then on the last week, yeah, the dedicated time will be for you to work on After your field work in the second week, we would like you to have more time for you to develop a project based on the situational analysis that you gather in Utan Kayu Utara. Okay, next slide, Mbak Mus. Okay, so here are the teaching team. So we basically have myself from Nutrition Department, Faculty of Medicine, Universitas Indonesia, and there is going to be Ibu Laras, Indria Laras Pramesti from Simeurekfon. I am assisted also with Mbak Fitra, Mbak Ninis, and also Dr. Aziza, all from Nutrition Department, Faculty of Medicine, Universitas Indonesia. As you see on lectures, we are inviting colleagues from Mercy Corps, World Bank Indonesia, Ministry of Health Malaysia, and also GAIN Indonesia. Thanks to them for their continuous support to the course. So we hope that you learn enough, yeah, with exposure coming from all of them. Some of our teaching team are also the tutors, yeah, as well as the resource person for the plenary. Okay, next slide, Mbak Mus. Now, this is, I think, the most interesting part for you, yeah. So, we are evaluating your performance based on a number of components, yeah. So in as much as what you are going to deal in the field later on is really about having a discussion with other colleagues, so therefore we provide group work as one of the evaluation, that one of the component for the evaluation count for 15%. And then the output of your group work is, of course, group report, and that will count for 30%. In between of your work, we would like you to also develop this presentation skill. So we would like to have also we would like to see you also to have that particular skill by assigning 20% for this skill. And the last but not least is your written examination that will count for 35%. So if you notice, the 35% is very individualistic, yeah, your performance towards the subjects, and also the presentation is going to be individualistic, but when you are performing for your group work and group report, that is where we would like to see your skill on teamwork. Okay. And what is the completion requirement? So as you see here, so the score 55 or grade C will be the least score if you have an exam score of 55 at least. So when remedial exam is required, your final score will be the minimum passing grade, which is the 55. And that is for the score. And we have the second component for completion requirement, which is the minimum presence. So 70% for lectures and 80% for other class activities. Okay, I hope this is also clear. Next slide, Mbak Mus. Okay, I think I'm going to go with the next topic, but before I'm going to this first discussion on the topic, is there any questions about how the course is going to be organized? Okay, we have Dr. Benita raising hand. Okay, Dr. Benita, what is the question? Can I see your face, Dr. Benita? Thank you so much. Yeah, what is the question, Dr. Benita?
Okay, thank you, Bu Judy, for your kind explanation. So I would like to ask about group work and presentation. Which class activities will be evaluated for these two components? Thank you before.
Okay, a good observation, and thank you for asking this to be clarified further, Dr. Benita. So you see in the schedule, Mbak Mus, can you go to the schedule, Mbak Mus, previous slide? I know it is small, but if you can access the course outline from AMAS, you notice here that there is one column indicating discussion form, presentation form. You can see that, yeah? So that is the activities, specific activities that you are going to be evaluated for both component, the discussion and the presentation. So if you notice, throughout the 3 weeks, you will be having all of that simultaneously, yeah, because we would like to be able to assess your your skill for group work, for discussion, and your skill for your presentation throughout the process where you are involving in this course. Okay, so specifically, if you would like to know more about how is the discussion and the presentation being evaluated, you can also access the course outline in AMAS, where we explain clearly there on for group work that it will consist of participation and attitude during the discussion. Attitude includes your tardiness, your politeness, and proper use of spoken language. Meanwhile, for the presentation, you will be evaluated against your presentation skill, your participation during Q&A, as well as your attitude that includes also in your group work. Is that clear, Dr. Benita?
Thank you, Bu Judi. I'm clear.
Okay, thank you. Any other question from other participants in this room? So far, so good? Okay. Okay, so far so good, and I can carry on. Mbak Mus, can you go to the, yeah, okay. So this is actually the topic that I would like to cover this coming few minutes. The one that we would like to start as the foundation of the course. Can we go to the next slide, Mbak Mus? So basically, these two things that I would like to cover, the concept of projects and program, as well as framework for nutrition and health planning and management. We can go to the next slide. So what is a project? I'd like to go with the one on the bottom, yeah, the one with the arrow. So the project is basically whatever or anything that has a start, a finish, and produces a deliverable. That is a project. So we are giving this as an example. The hunting parties of our prehistoric ancestor, they are all projects. When we are talking about large complex projects such as the pyramids in Egypt or the Great Wall of China, they are all also projects. Even when something as simple as creating a dinner, it is also considered a project. So any one of you who are living alone in your dormitory, whenever you are going back home later and working on your dinner, that is a project because you are having a start, you have a finish, and you deliver. Yeah, you are having a delivery. In this case, is your dinner. So I hope this simple analogy can help you identify what a project is. We can go to the next slide, Mouse. Okay, so when we are comparing, yeah, as you see from the title of the course, there is the slash project and program. A project is relatively simple than a program, and a project is normally short-term, time-limited, addressing selective targets, and usually it precedes a program. So in another word, a program introduces interaction between factors that is more complex, thus requiring a planning tool that is more complex, normally involving system analysis. I hope it makes sense. Let's go to the next slide, Mamus. I think, yeah, this is just to give you an idea that based on one of the main reference that we are using for this course, which is actually a book from Project Management Institute. This give you an idea that a collective of projects A, B, C, D, E will eventually provide discrete benefits, and this discrete benefit can compose eventually delivery of the benefits. When we are coordinating these all projects, then basically we are talking about the formation of a program. Yeah. Okay. Next slide, Mbak Mus. Yeah, this gives you an example. You will read a lot of this kind of phrases or statements. Reduce the incidence of waterborne disease. Improve primary healthcare services. Provision of bed nets in rural Africa. Malaria prevention. So if you notice, those on the right side can be identified as projects. And those on the right side are basically program. Okay? I think I have an exercise after this slide. Can we go to the next slide, Mbak Mus? Yeah. So I have these phrases, number 1, number 2, and number 3. increase utilization of local food, improve dietary pattern of young women, enhance nutrition well-being of young women. I would like to invite volunteers. Anybody would like to say something about this? Anybody would like to contribute? Which one is project? Which one is program? Okay, I see. Hasna, carry on, Hasna. What do you think?
Okay, Rujadi, thank you for the opportunity. I think my answer is for, especially for number three, is a program because the well-being reflects the complexity of the situation that may involve interaction among various factors. And I think it looks like it requires a holistic system analysis.
Mm. Yeah, well, spot on, Hasna. Thanks for sharing the result of your reading, yeah, prior attending this session. As you know, that this part of the session is actually also a flipped classroom methods. So we require you to read first before you join in the class. So thank you for sharing that. And I hope the rest of you have got similar understanding about statement number 3. Yeah, thank you, Hasna. Anybody else perhaps would like to try number 1 or 2? Who is this? Hang on. Yeah, Dito. Okay, Dito.
Yeah, thank you, Ibu Judy, for this opportunity. I would like to try answer the question number 2, and I think based on your explanation, so the number 2, which is improve dietary pattern of young women, can be both a program or a project because this all falls into the complexity of the context regarding factor associated around dietary pattern and within the surrounding of the target, which is the young women.
Interesting. Anybody agrees or even disagrees with Dito? Anybody? Okay, Hasna, would you like to counter Dito?
Thank you for the opportunity again, Bu Judy. I agree with Kadito. Because in the setting where dietary pattern is intricated with factors like in an ecological framework, all factors are interrelated. This makes number 2 as a program. On the other hand, dietary pattern among young women in other setting can be associated with already known factors such as a lack of knowledge. Then number 2 can actually be a project too.
Okay. Indeed, yeah, great responses. So thank you, Hasna and Dito. So for the rest of you, I hope you get now the idea about distinction between program and project. Yeah. Okay, so I think in the interest of time, I would like to move on. Mbak Mus, can you help me to move to the next slide? Yeah, so this is actually, I am coming to the second topic of our discussion. When you are looking at this framework is also available in your handbook, yeah. So when we are talking about nutrition, health program planning and management, this cycle is always something that we need to refer to because whatever cycle that you are having, it is always start with system review. Okay, so you see the arrow, yeah, the orange arrow. So system review is the first that you do. Because of that review, then you do policy formulation, or sometimes people call it policy reformulation because of the system review. And then after you do a policy formulation, then you do planning because that policy is binding, yeah. You need to then carry on with the activities. That's why you do the planning. After you plan, of course, you implement. After a few years of implementation, you do again the system review. And if you notice, in between all of this cycle, there is evaluation. What does it mean? It means that evaluation is in the blood. Evaluation is in the streamline of this framework. Okay, I hope I make sense. Can we go to the next slide, Mums? Okay, so now the question is why? Why do we have to be concerned about planning and management in the project or program of nutrition and health? So according to the synthesis coming from Professor Kilman, he identified these main four four main rationales, yeah, that why we need also to do nutrition and health planning and management. The first one is to deliver effective nutrition and health services to the population within available resources. Yeah, because you want to make sure that whatever resources that you have, you would like to cover the most effective services to these people. The second one is to translate policy into action plan. Remember that after your system review, you develop or you formulate your policy, then your policy needs to be further translated into planning, action plan. The third one is to adapt the macro plan. When we are talking about macro plan, it means that planning falls into the national level or the global level, down into the regional or micro level. Or in Indonesia, we have district, kecamatan, yeah, this sub-district that is called as subnational level. Last but not least, nutrition and health planning and management also serve as an attempt, yeah, an attempt to search for effective intervention in response to the emerging health and nutrition problem. So this is really to say that we would like to be sure that new emerging health and nutrition problem is addressed effectively through a proper response of an intervention. Yeah, so I hope I make sense also for this one. Can we go to the next slide, Magnus? So these are basically the point where we eventually includes the management cycle in the program of health and nutrition. And this is where we would like also to sensitize to you that these five phases or five processes of project management includes OOPP in the initiation part. And then you go with the planning, executing, at the same time you do monitoring and controlling, and then right after that, you go with your closing of the projects. Next slide, Mbak. Okay. This is another context in as much as we want to introduce to you in this course how we can manage a program. But as we discussed earlier, the complexity of the program is even more than a project. So therefore, the method for which a project or program is planned, monitored, controlled, and reported is called manage. Project and program management is basically the umbrella term that covers a number of other related disciplines. And therefore, for that academic exercise during this course, let me announce that we are basically going to focus on project management rather than program management. Okay, next. Yeah, I think in the interest of time, I have to end, and because I have covered two topics, so at this point, I would like to also have some reflections. If any one of you would like to contribute, what do you think we have learned so far? Anybody? Okay, we have Ulfa. Ulfa, carry on.
All right, thank you, Bu Yudi, for the explanation. I'd like to contribute because I think that even when we feel there is a distinction between program and even project, eventually these differences are very contextual, right? But I learned one thing for sure, that since a project is relatively simpler than a program, so which means that composite of several projects may constitute a program that will require longer time and then bigger resources to achieve the higher goal. That's it. Very short thing that I have already learned from the session.
Okay, thank you, Ulfa. Yeah, so I think somehow a very well summary on projects and programs. I am hoping that with the coming session that you are having, also exposure from other guest lectures, will equip you for your fieldwork in Utan Kayu Utara because you will be developing your own project planning later on. I hope you are all excited as I am. Okay, so thank you so much for today's session. See you again tomorrow. Don't forget, we will be gathering again at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Thank you so much. Bye.